Hey guys, welcome back to Abby's Canine Academy. I'm excited to introduce you to our new board and train, Ellie. Ellie is a 4-year-old golden retriever who was used as a breeding dog for most of her life. The owners just rescued her about a month ago, and they are excited to get a very solid, basic obedience foundation with Ellie so that she can start going out in public and be less anxious. You'll see a lot in these videos how Ellie is nervous, but she's starting to break out of her shell. This is our 1-day recap with Ellie. She's doing really well, and I'm excited to show her. This is our first training session together, so what I'm doing is I'm just feeling her out, seeing how she's reacting to the environment, seeing if she calms down. Now, when you see her shake her head a lot, Ellie does have a really bad ear infection right now. So she does shake her head a lot because her ears are bothering her. So I am just going to start feeding her some treats, see how she takes them from me, see how she reacts to me, and I'm just going to take it slow for a while. Right there, you can actually see some of her appeasement behaviors, her submissive behaviors. She gets nervous when I start to reach towards her, so she'll just automatically try to lay down. So I'm just going to ignore her when she does that. So I am speeding up this video because the first session I do a lot of just watching the dog, and Ellie in particular pulls really hard on the leash. So I'm going to speed it up because a lot of the time what I'm doing is I'm just letting her hit the end of the leash and letting her start to understand leash pressure. So I'm going to fast forward and I'll stop and talk about a few things here and there. I want to point out Ellie taking the treats here. In this whole video, this whole first session, she's very slow to come get the treats. She's unsure, she's not 100% sure what's going on, but I do want to make note of that because later in the videos, you'll see how much she's progressed. Here, Ellie is being very submissive anytime I even give any sort of body pressure into her general direction. One of her coping mechanisms too is to try to jump on you just to get a hold of the situation, to feel it out. Now that I feel like I've gotten a good handle and a good read on Ellie, I am going to start asking for some sits. I'm going to start modeling some behavior with her, and I'm going to start loading our yes marker word, which is our release word. So you're gonna see Ellie jump here in a second, and I'm going to correct her with a leash pop. The reason that I do that here is because I used spatial pressure the first couple times, and she did not respond to it very well. So instead of touching her with any part of my body, I tested it with the leash pressure to see if she would respond better to that. Now, it might look a little harsh, but it wasn't harsh because of her body weight and how she was positioned on me. If it had hurt her in any way, shape, or form, she would have gotten down a lot faster. I always tell everybody, correct the dog with the same energy that they're giving you. So Ellie wasn't being very violent on me or anything like that, right? So I didn't give her a super hard, harsh correction there, but instead I just gave her a small leash pop, and when the first one didn't work, I just upped it a little bit more to get her off of me. I am trying my best here to get Ellie's energy up a little bit more, a little less scared of me, a little less timid, and wanting to take these treats a little better. So I'm going to move on to the next day video because it's just repetition at this point of getting Ellie to take treats and not be so timid, and to try to come towards me more and not be so scared to walk in my direction. This is our evening session, and I start off just by shaking the leash around her head and moving it around because she is really sensitive to any type of leash motion for some reason. And so we're just going to move it around sometimes and reward her for not caring about it. You can also see that she's already much more willing to come to me and take the treats from my hand. But here in a second, I'm going to ask her to down, just because I don't know where she's at with that. I don't know if she's good at it, if she knows what to do. And clearly, as you can see, she's not the best at it. It wasn't an automatic response. So I know that I need to work on that and get her to be a little quicker with that. You can see here that I am being very, very patient with her. I never force dogs to go into a down or force them to do something they don't know. I always start with heavy positive reinforcement, with modeling behaviors. I will be patient with them. If they get frustrated and they don't know what I'm asking, or if they start to give up and be too disengaged, then I will go on to something else for a little bit, and we'll revisit that either at the end of the session or even in a whole different session. I never want the dogs to become shut down or not wanting to work. Because Ellie is doing so well with her sits with the food lure, I'm going to start asking for leash pressure here and teaching her that certain leash pressure means a certain command. So we are going to struggle a little bit right here with it, just because she doesn't quite understand what I'm asking for. And if you look closely, that's my fault, because I did not ask her with the lure in the right timing. So I'm just going to take a step back here. I am going to ask her properly this time, reward her for it, and then we're going to move on and keep doing it a few more times. There are still some times, you might have noticed a few times, where she really tries to run towards the yard or run away from my direction. There are still some moments where she's being very timid and wanting to get away from me. And this is to be expected, because it's really only been about 6 hours since I got her. And you can see how much time it really takes to build a foundation with a dog. because this whole video has been in 2 times speed. So it really does take a lot of patience very early on with the dog to establish that you are a safe person and that they are okay with you. And I never want to rush her. So I'm going back to the downs here because she did get frustrated a little earlier on, so we took a break from it. And she ends up staying frustrated, so we did take a break for the day from that and went on to it the next day. The horses snorted right here, which really spooked Ellie. So I just took some time, let her get used to the sounds they were making. They really were making a lot of snorts, a lot of sounds right here. So I just wanted her to get used to there are going to be sounds around you that happen. There's going to be moments that something startles you, but it's not a big deal. We recover, we move on. So I want to start introducing a proper heel position with her, but she's never done something like that before, and she's not sure how she's supposed to follow my hand to get that treat. So it takes her a few tries to get it, and she isn't very good at it at the beginning, but that's okay. I'm just gonna be patient with her again. I'm gonna continue doing just one step at a time and having her stand still at my side to get the treat, since in motion is a little too hard for her. She's too distracted, she's too nervous to really be near me, she wants to be on the move all the time. So we're just gonna take it slow and just do a few steps at a time until she gets the hang of it. So I'm going to finish up this video for you guys, but this is our 1-day recap of Ellie and how she's been doing so far with Abby's Canine Academy. Stay tuned for our future videos to see how she progresses throughout the week, and also always give your dogs plenty of opportunity for water.